everybody. I'm honored to be here tonight to present this award alongside two wrestling legends, Joyce Grable and Malaya Hasaka tonight, for our good friend Bambi. Growing up in the Peach State, Bambi became enamored with the world of professional wrestling, watching Georgia Championship Wrestling at an early age on television, and then later on, around the age of 10, being able to go to the big Friday night shows at the Omni Arena, and then of course the television tapings on Saturday mornings. She saw many greats at that time, such as Dusty Rhodes, Tommy Rich, and of course every 10-year-old little girl's favorite wrestler, Ole Anderson. First girls match that she ever saw was between Joyce Grable and Judy Martin. And this fueled her passion. You were really good, Joyce. This fueled her passion to want to become a lady wrestler, and she started making plans at age 11 under the name of Dynamite Dixie Majors to defeat the iconic superstar and world's champion, the Fabulous Moolah. But unfortunately for Bambi, 11's a little too young, and she had to wait a few years to meet up with Joyce Grable and train. Bambi's career took off rapidly, wrestling greats like Judy Martin, Leilani Kai, and Luna Vachon in singles action, and tagging with Malaya Hasaka in tag team action. Her passion and hard work afforded her opportunities to live out her wildest dreams, such as performing in the Omni Arena where she grew up watching professional wrestling. She got to travel all over Japan, England, and Germany, and even was able to wrestle in Madison Square Garden under the POW banner. And she also wrestled for AWA, LPWA, and WCW. Arguably, her most notable feud was with Peggy Lee Leather, who she wrestled in practically any town that you can think of, drawing the interest of the fans and also backstage the wrestlers. Guys like the Armstrongs and the Rock and Roll Express would often go, God, I don't want to have to go after those two. Currently, Bambi serves as a head trainer of WOW Women of Wrestling in Long Beach at the WOW Training Center. She doesn't just teach moves and holds, she invests time in her students and instills in them a passion and a respect and a love for the wrestling industry. I'm truly thankful for our friendship, and I'm truly thankful to call her a mentor. And now we'll hear a couple words from Joyce Grable.
Hey now, you know there's not just going to be a couple of words. I've never been limited to what I can say. First of all, Selina Majors is a heartthrob to me. In 1987, she gave me a call. I had quit wrestling at the time, and I said, no, this is not for me. Well, she's really pretty, and she really tugged at my heartstrings, and I said, okay. I trained her in my backyard, put a wrestling ring in my backyard. She was out there every time. I told her we were training today. That mat was mighty hot. I'm in Georgia, and we know how the summers in Georgia go. But she wasn't there to meet the guys. She wasn't there to influence anyone. She wanted to be a lady wrestler, and that's what I taught her. I taught her how to take a bump, how to not wear knee pads, elbow pads. Worked 20 years, never wore one because I could take a bump. She was the exact same way. I taught her holes. She can get in and out of any hold you put on her. She don't say, how do you reverse that? Had that a lot. I referee a lot of the girls' matches, and they'll say, I don't know how. Train and you'll know how. And that's what Selina Majors did. She trained until she just couldn't train no more. Jody Hamilton was running towns in Georgia. He booked us, her first match, and she was great. I mean, I told her, listen to me. I'll work the crowd. You just take a bump when I give them to you. That's what she did. We had them eating out of our hands. And never once did Joyce Grable say, I'm not putting her over. This is her second match. No. That promoter said, that one goes over. Fine with me. I'm not a prima donna. But I sure do love Bambi. And she is a pretty girl. And she sure can wrestle. And so can my Leah. And now I'll let her say a few words.
I don't know Selina Majors, I know Bambi. Bambi was my first tag team partner. We got paired up at LPWA, we got room together at LPWA. Every morning, Bambi went and got us donuts and Diet Pepsi and a regular Pepsi. And every morning I woke up, I had breakfast. It was awesome having her for a partner. But beyond that, I was the sympathy, she was the savior. There was never any doubt that I was going to take the heat and she was going to make the hot tag. Because Selina could always have that charisma. She had that fire from the time she stepped in the ring till the time she stepped out. And there was never any indication in there that when she took over, you were getting schooled and you were going to town and she was getting even for her little partner. I thank her for that. And as she grew and we went our separate ways after LPWA, she became the model that I wanted to be the babyface. She was my idol. I looked towards her and I looked at her fire and I studied it. And I watched how she came to her comebacks. And I watched how she interacted with the crowd. And if girls ask me today what to do, I tell them to pull up a Bambi match. Because if you want to know how to babyface, if you want to know how to get that crowd behind you and make them love you, watch Bambi, because she was able to do it. And had the women's wrestling been in a huge momentum going forward in the late 80s and into the 90s, she would have been the girl that they would have built the women's divisions around. Because she was the top babyface of her era. She will always be the top babyface of her era. And the thing is, she is genuinely nice inside and outside the ring and can never say no. My partner, my friend for 30 years, Bambi, the real deal, Selina Majors.
I wanted all three of them to talk because I'm so nervous right now. I didn't figure I'd be able to say anything. I'm more nervous right now than my very first match with Joyce. Because you all are the reason why I love wrestling. I started watching wrestling when I was a kid, and I was just mesmerized by it. And like Nigel said, funny because Ole's got such a reputation, but he was nice to me and my dad. And I want to thank a few people that helped me. And Scrappy, where are you at? Scrappy's dad was the ring guy, and Scrappy was a referee for Georgia Championship Wrestling. And we went to a town, and my dad would always hang out until we were the last people to leave. And Charlie would be taking the ring down, and my dad asked him, hey, she wants to be a wrestler, because I didn't see that many women wrestlers back then. And he wrote down on a piece of paper the fabulous Moolah and the address. And he was the first person that actually said, you can do this. And I love you, Scrappy, and Jeff, and your dad, and y'all meant a lot to me. And you'll always be family. And Joyce, you were the first match I ever seen, and it's ironic that you trained me. I didn't go to Moolah school, and I'm glad I didn't, because you're the best teacher ever. And you're my wrestling mom, big sister, whatever. And I love you with all my heart. Joyce was doing things that people get credit for now, that it was way beyond your time, intergender matches and all kinds of stuff. So I just wanted her to be a part of this, because without her, I wouldn't be here. And same with you, Scrappy, and your dad. And I just want to thank those people and thank the CAC for awarding me. As a kid, I never thought that I would make it this far. I didn't have a whole bunch of high ambition. I like being the big fish in the small pond. I like wrestling Joyce and Peggy and Leilani and Judy and little high school gyms and National Guard armories, because that's what I loved and that's what I used to go see. And I just feel so honored that the CAC recognized me, and I feel real honored that I can call myself a lady wrestler. And I'm just an example of a small country girl from Georgia whose dream really come true. So if you have a dream, don't give up on it, because it can happen. And I want to thank a few of the girls that's not here that I really want to thank that worked with me. Peggy Lee Leather, she couldn't be here, but without her making me look good, just like Joyce, I wouldn't have the matches that I had. And Leilani Kai and Judy Martin, Lena Vachon, my best partner in the whole world, Malaya, who I love, and we were the two youngest and the two skinniest, and I think that's why they put us together, but we were the last two of our era, and thank you for everything. And I'm probably leaving out some people. The CAC, thank you for giving me this award. David McLean for believing in me, and I first met him over 30 years ago, and he's allowing me to work for WOW Women of Wrestling, and I am the trainer. And that's at 53 years old. I'm still doing what I love to do. And last but not least, I want to thank God.
Amen.
Because He's really blessed my life. And when I was younger, I suffered from a lot of depression. I had anorexia. And wrestling saved my life. So I thank God and I thank wrestling. And also I thank my dad for taking me to those matches all the time, because we were there every Friday night, Saturday morning, Sunday in Cobb County Civic Center. So once again, thank you guys for making me feel really special tonight. I love each and every one of you. If there was a passion for loving wrestling, I guess that's what I deserve, because I love it more than anything in the whole world. So thank you guys so much for letting me be up here and share this moment. Thank you.